You could buy yourself this, a 2007 Jeep Compass, or you could buy yourself this BMW X5. But you could potentially end up forking out a lot of money in just repairs. And no one wants their car broken down on the side of the road or in the driveway for a long period of time, waiting on repairs that you just can't afford. Welcome to AutoMotivate. If you are new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you want to know more about cars. We are almost at 20,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you all enough for all the support and all the love that I've just been receiving. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. These cars are reliable, cheap to fix, and all around great daily drivers. Today, I'm going over 5 cheap SUVs for students that are reliable, all under $5K. Let's get started. (2000 to 2006) GMC 800, Chevy Tahoe, or GMC Yukon. The GMC Yukon is basically a bit more upscale version of this Chevrolet Tahoe, and is honestly a bit easier to find within our budget with low miles. When I say low miles, you will probably be able to find one with about 150,000 miles under 5K, which is still low miles regarding both the 4.8 liter and the 5.3 liter Vortec V8 that can easily last upwards to 400,000 miles. This 5.3 liter V8 is before GM so lovingly decided to update their engine, trying to make it more fuel efficient, but ended up being a pretty big fail, and it basically ate up a lot of oil. So we are in the clear. If you want to lug around 8 passengers, tow extremely well, and be able to go on the off-road terrain just a bit, the GMC 800 has your back. These trucks can be fitted nicely with electric seats, power mirrors, and power locks. The entire truck is made to be very comfortable, but they are really not all that built to be off-road vehicles solely. Why? Because they are pretty large. And if you opt in for only the rear-wheel drive version, you will have a truck that should last longer compared to the four-wheel drive model. But if you have bad wintry months, the four-wheel drive model is reliable, just won't last as long. They do have the 4L60 4-speed transmissions that are extremely reliable as well. This thing is built to last. The main downfall, especially for new drivers, is its size. It's big, and it will take a while for you to get comfortable parking. So get used to parking in the back of the parking lot. This 05 Yukon Denali, which is the top tier trim, is costing $4,500 with 189,000 miles. Sure, that might sound like a lot, but these are built to last, and you will at least see another 100,000 miles. And to me, that's a good deal, because 100,000 miles for $45,000 is not that much. Second, Gen Honda CRV from 2002 to 2006. These SUVs are the second wave of crossovers hitting the great America. We all call them compact SUVs, but they are really just crossovers, early crossovers. Along with it being able to seat 5 passengers, be great on gas, and have a pretty retro, rugged, and JDM feel, the CRV has some pretty unique quirks. They came stock with unpainted bumpers, which actually I like a lot. The center console is very simple and folds upwards, and there are 2 grab handles in the front of the dash, which adds to the rugged feel, and one of them is actually an e-brake. And finally, the rear trunk liner literally turns into a mini table. These little cars have a lot of room with comfortable cloth interior. Very simple, but with Honda reliability. That's what they're great at, and they are meant to last. This one is selling for $5,000 with 118,000 miles, and it really looks like a new car. They took care of it, and it's worth $5,000 in my opinion. It is from a dealership, and if you can find one from a private seller, you could probably find one much cheaper, probably around the $4,000 range with the same type of quality. 1984 to 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ. I want to say a few things right off the bat. Don't buy the 4-cylinder, they're weak. Buy the bulletproof inline 6. People like to complain about issues with these Jeeps, but in reality, they are extremely reliable. With over 2 million sold within this generation, yes, they're bound to be faults in some of them, especially if they weren't taken care of properly. But let's come back to reality. These are fantastic to get into modifying because, like I just mentioned, there are a lot of them on the road and there is a vast variety of aftermarket parts. They are built to go off-roading, and in general, they are great daily drivers. Sure, they have a few minor issues like engine oil leaks and O2 sensors going out, and a few minor things that may just pop up with any older vehicle. But if you keep the oil topped off, if you have a leak, this SUV will last a long time. If you're wanting a vehicle to be able to do just about anything you would like with decent gas mileage and an okay tow rating, the Cherokee is a great option. These would also be great overlanding setups in my opinion. This one is going for $3,500 with 170,000 miles, which is nothing, and it looks like it has been taken care of very well, and these are very well known to last at least 300,000 miles. 2004 Hyundai Santa Fe. This little Honda Santa Fe may surprise you. Yes, it's an early 2000s Korean car, but guess what? They are reliable. There has been many reports on them lasting well over 300,000 miles. So if you can find one that has not been ratted out and very well taken care of, you will be in the clear. You just have to make sure that the timing belt has been replaced. And if it has not, when you're about to buy this car, you should factor that into the final sales price. It should cost nearly $600. You can find one with leather seats, power mirrors, and on top of that, they are actually quite competitive with Toyota for the year in regards to technology and comfort. No, it's not the most beautiful car, but you can find them cheap with low miles. This one has 147,000 miles for right under $3,000. So $3,000 for 150,000 miles. 2007 Nissan Xterra. The second gen, or the N50 from 2005 to 2015, is by far my personal favorite. It has more power and looks better than the previous generations. With its 4-liter V6, it makes nearly 80 more horsepower from the previous model. Too many. These cars may be ugly and not worth the time. But once again, let's come back to reality. These are worth a look. With some modifications, these SUVs can take on the off-road terrain just fine. As their first car, they are pretty solid. They are decent on gas, can tow a fair amount, and also a decent car to get into modifying. There really is not anything too special about this car besides its potential. The interior is a bit basic and mostly made of plastic. The bumpers are not painted, which gives it that rugged look. And here's one with 135,000 miles for $4,000. These cars can easily last upwards to 250,000 miles. Which SUV would you pick and why? They all have their own unique quirks and features, but I know I would easily pick the Jeep Cherokee. Not only is it great looking, but it's reliable, easy to work on, and by far superior in so many aspects. They are also great vehicles to modify, which is the fun part. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, subscribe, and press the notification bell to keep up to date with my future content. This is Chris AutoMotivate. Always appreciate one another, and I'll see you next time.